Yeah, so guys, here is the system that I'm running on. I just wanted to include this straight away, as that's a question I get quite often on these types of videos. Let me know your build down below in the comments, as well as the FPS you get on CS. But yeah, today we're just going to be going over the most basic settings that you can change on your PC without having to download a ton of stuff. If you want a more advanced video, let me know that down below as well. But yeah, guys, before we get into anything, the first thing I want to get you guys to do is go onto your desktop, right-click and open up display settings, and make sure that your monitor is at its highest refresh rate. I know a lot of you guys will be saying that that's a super simple thing, but trust me, there's quite a lot of people who don't do that, and that's just a super easy fix to make their monitor feel how it should, or maybe how it used to feel. And before we get into any more of the settings, we got to shout out the guys who make daily double uploads possible, which is SkinsMonkey, the safe, automated, easy to use CS2 trading site that gives you an insane 35% deposit bonus for every cash deposit when using code WILD. Also, by using the code, you can claim up to a $5 free bonus on your first $100 trade. No deposit needed. It's definitely worth trading at least $100 on that first trade, just to make sure you're making the most of it. And don't worry, there are a ton of deposit methods, so it's super easy to load up. And using the filters, you can find some skins that are just right for you and trade away any of your old skins that you're bored of. And in case you have any issues, they also offer 24/7 live chat support. So what are you waiting for? If you want to grab yourself some fresh new skins for 2025 from their crazy amount of skins up for grabs, make sure to go and check them out. But yeah, let's get back to the video. But yeah, guys, getting into some of the settings, one thing I want to say is on your mouse software, I personally wouldn't recommend going above 2000 Hz polling rate. If you've got a wired mouse, yes, of course, you can play 8000 Hz, but not just CS, but on other games. If you go above 2000 Hz, there can be some issues. So yeah, feel free to if you want to, but I recommend no more than 2000. Another thing, guys, before we get into any actual settings, let's talk about PC parts. And unfortunately, guys, if you are really struggling with performance on CS2, the main thing you need to do is get one of the X3D processors. You know, even if you have a 40 series GPU, if you're on, let's say, a 5800X, not a 5800X3D or 7800X3D or 9800X3D, your performance on CS will be significantly lower than someone that does have an X3D processor. So I know, you know, it's not a free thing that you can just quickly change. You need to then go and buy that and swap it out, and you might need to upgrade other parts of your PC to be able to do that. That is unfortunately the case. CS just works way better with those processors. So if you really want to see a massive improvement, that's the main thing you want to upgrade. When it comes to RAM, obviously the more the better. If you can get at least 32 gigabytes, then that is best. More is obviously great, but yeah, 32 is what I'd recommend. Also, people in a previous video mentioned saying that I had no idea about AMD Expo, but no, it was more just the fact that with the system that I was on, I couldn't use AMD Expo, so I recommended to most people that they turn on XMP, as you do have to have slightly newer tech. But yeah, obviously, if possible, when you restart your PC and go into your BIOS, if you have supported DDR5 RAM and a motherboard that supports it, then yeah, enable AMD Expo, as it supposedly gives around a 10% performance boost for Ryzen 7000 series CPUs or higher. After doing so, when you come into the performance tab of your task manager, you'll see that your RAM will be running at its advertised speed. Otherwise, like with my RAM, out of the box, it would just run at 4800, whereas now it's 6000. Obviously, if you can get a better graphics card, you can do that as well. But honestly, guys, just please focus on your CPU first. And of course, guys, it's 2025. If you can install CS on an M.2 SSD, then please do that. But yeah, now for some Windows settings. And I have to admit, on a basic level, a lot of these Windows settings won't actually affect your game that much, if at all. One thing that would help is installing a debloated version of Windows, or downloading programs to remove a lot of the Windows 11 bloat, such as ONO Shutup 10++, which you can load up and disable a bunch of telemetry, and also go through and delete apps. But as this is a easy guide, what you can do is just search up apps in your Windows settings, go to installed apps, and then just go through all of these, click the three dots and uninstall any programs that you're not using. Then guys, in your graphics settings, go to change default graphics settings, and I recommend turning on HAGS, which is hardware accelerated GPU scheduling, but it is worth you actually testing it on your system to see if there's more or less stutter. Obviously pick whichever option works best for you. For me, on is fine. And then for optimizations for windowed games, if you want to play in full screen borderless, then definitely enable this. This is super helpful if I'm in game and I need to like tab out. Let's say if I'm streaming, like then I definitely recommend having this on. But if you're just playing for performance, you can turn this off and just play regular full screen. Then guys, if we go back to graphics settings and look down here for CS2, go to options and then make sure to check high performance mode and click save. That will also help. Then if you search up game mode, make sure game mode is turned on if you're on Windows 11. Then search up game bar and make sure to toggle this to off. Then if you go to privacy and security settings, what I recommend here is going through through, like here where it says general, and just turn off all of these settings which affect your privacy, especially stuff like location services. Just turn everything off. Same with inking and typing. Same with all these diagnostics. Get rid of activity history and clear any history. Also guys, if we go back to Task Manager and go to Startup Apps, just disable any apps that you don't need starting up. So like for example, Microsoft Edge or the Creative Cloud, you can disable this, and then if you need to go onto those apps, you just open them after your PC's loaded up. Then guys, when it comes to Windows updates and GPU drivers, there are people out there who have tested like every single driver and found out the best ones or the worst ones. Supposedly for CS2, the best Nvidia driver is 566.14. I don't know the answer for AMD. Now this is a tiny bit more advanced, but not really. If you want to up or downgrade to that driver, you need to download Display Driver Uninstaller. I'll leave it linked in the description. Just click download here. Once it's downloaded, run it as administrator, extract it to where it needs to extract. Now go into that folder and then again, run Display Driver Uninstaller as administrator. This will pop up. Obviously read through this all, and once you have, click OK. Then you need to also make sure that you have prevent downloads of drivers from Windows Update checked, and then click OK, close. It also recommends you go in safe mode, but you don't need to. Click OK, click GPU, and then Nvidia, and click clean and restart. So yeah guys, after rebooting, your PC might seem a bit cooked because you don't have proper drivers installed. So yeah, now to install your driver without all of the bloat, what you're going to need to do is download NV Slimmer, and again, I'll leave this linked in the description. After extracting it all, just run the application as administrator. This will pop up and you just need to select the 566.14 driver. I'll leave a download link to that in the description. Yeah, as I said, I can't actually show this process because my OBS wouldn't work because obviously I'm installing driver updates. But yeah, after selecting the driver, make sure to uncheck physics and then go to install. And after agreeing, make sure to select custom install and check clean install. Then guys, install the driver and boom, you'll be back at this stage. I know that this might seem a tiny bit advanced, but I feel like most people could follow along with this. And trust me, you will get a tiny bit more performance by doing this. Next guys, you want to search up power options and make sure you're not on power saver. Now, lots of people recommend ultimate performance when it comes to power, and even I used to, but after looking more into it, it actually can have negative effects on your system. So balanced is actually the option that most people should be recommending. Then guys, launch up Nvidia control panel, go to the top option, adjust image settings with preview, go down to use my preferences and emphasize performance, then click apply. The only other thing you want to do is go to manage 3D settings, scroll down and make sure that power management mode is set to prefer maximum performance and click apply. Then guys, go to adjust desktop size and position, and if you're going to be playing stretched, swap this to full screen. If not, you can keep it on aspect ratio, but I'm going to swap it to full screen. And then as well, make sure that this scaling is done on your GPU. And of course guys, don't forget to check this box to override the scaling mode set by games and programs. Again, click apply and then click yes. And if you want to just make sure, go to change resolution and make sure that your refresh rate is at the max it can be. And yeah, just then guys, for your launch options, right click and click properties. Obviously here I've got allow third-party software so that I can use game capture when recording, but you don't need this. But what you do need is dash no reflex and dash FPS max 0. And yes guys, that does mean we're not going to be using Nvidia Reflex, which on pretty much any other game I would recommend, but on CS2 it does not work as it should. There's lots of content out there explaining this, but yeah, just honestly don't enable it. And then yeah, for FPS you want it set to unlimited so you have the lowest latency possible. Now let's load up and go over some game settings. Now firstly guys, it is recommended to play in full screen. Just for the purpose of these settings, I'm going to swap to full screen windowed. Of course you can still play in full screen windowed if you change that setting earlier on in the video, but it's up to you. I do recommend full screen though if you are a competitive player. Then guys, for your aspect ratio, or if you want to play stretched or not, this honestly is just personal preference. I do personally prefer stretched, but that's just because when I was really grinding CS back in the day, that was how I played. I don't know, it just felt better. Bigger looking models, I know they're not actually bigger, but I don't know, I just got used to it, so play on whichever one you prefer. One thing that does actually make a difference, not to your FPS, but just to your GPU load, is your resolution. So the lower the resolution you play on, the better, but not necessarily, as I'll get onto in a sec. But yeah, obviously playing on a stretched 4:3 resolution, you are going to be playing at a lower resolution anyway. You also want to make sure that your refresh rate is the highest possible. But yeah, we'll come back to those settings because what you want to know is the advanced settings. So for boost player contrast, disable this. VSync disabled. Max FPS, I mean, as we said, we set this to 0. In menus, it doesn't really matter. But guys, here are these settings which I would use if I was recording a video, going over skins with everything on super high. And yeah, boom, here are these settings that I would use if I'm playing competitively and want to have the lowest latency, lowest input lag, and just best performance overall. Now, you can actually make this technically even better, but then you are getting rid of all the nice shadow effects, as you can see down here. Now, in my previous video, some people were complaining about the shadow quality being less than high or very high. And yes, before they added in the dynamic shadows, that would be correct. But now with dynamic shadows, if you set this to all, no matter what, you will see shadows. It's just, if you switch it to high, it'll just be a slight bit more crisp. So I recommend like medium, as it still looks good. Low is kind of cooked and does actually get rid of some shadows. So yeah, for me, medium is the go-to. But yeah, everything else here is perfect. Then guys, let's get into like reducing this even more. So for MSAA, I do recommend 2x, but you can change it to none, as long as you are playing at your monitor's crispest resolution. So that would be either native, or if you're playing 4:3, as you can see here on a 1440p monitor, that would be 1920 by 1440, or on a 1080p monitor, that would be 1440 by 1080. So yeah, just play one of those two resolutions. Basically, you just want your vertical resolution to be the vertical resolution of your monitor. So yeah, as I play on 1440p, it would be this. And then yeah, you can turn down shadow quality to low and turn off ambient occlusion, as it's only very few situations where you might get caught out by this. But yeah, these are the settings if you're on a complete toaster and you just need to get the most FPS possible because your game is currently unplayable. Otherwise, use the previous settings I just showed. Another thing to do is search up rate in your console, and instead of it being this number, change that to 1 million and click enter. Now guys, as you can see at Mirage Spawn, we are getting like 800 plus FPS. Now, fair enough, this is on a empty server with no bots. Here at T-Spawn, like we're getting like 600-700 FPS. If I buy an AWP and a smoke and a molly, like if we just throw that down there, throw that there, like we're still in the 500, 600 FPS mark, like mid 600s. I'll actually join a deathmatch server right now. So yeah, here we are on Ancient, and even with all these players here, as you can see, we're still getting the 500s, 600s. If we go to B here, as you can see, we're still at 500 plus FPS. So yeah, even on a difficult map to play, like, okay, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. Okay, I just wanted to see, but I'm pretty sure even when we were alive, yes, when you get killed, it kind of dips. But yeah, here we go. We are in mid now. Okay, we are getting shot at, but we're at like 470, 460. And remember, guys, like I am playing on a 7800 X3D. You could upgrade to a 9800 X3D just to make sure that you're getting at least 480 FPS if you wanted to play 1440p stretched on one of the super high refresh rate OLED monitors or one of the Zowie monitors, like the new 600 Hertz monitor. But yeah, guys, hopefully that kind of proves that these settings do actually work. Of course, you need an X3D processor though to like really see the difference. But yeah, let me know if this helps you down below. Leave a like if it did. Share it to your friends if they need some help with performance. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it.